What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. And if you want a chance to win some silver, your time is running out. You're going to miss the giveaway. You're going to miss your chance. So click subscribe, go in the description, click that link. That's the entry video. I'm picking the winner at the end of this week, and there's going to be 2 winners, so your chances have doubled. May the luckiest stacker win. Now, I just made a video earlier today talking about how spot price is irrelevant. It's becoming detached from the digital price, from the COMEX, the SLV, and that is because silver is scarce. Yes, the spot price of silver may be $23, but we're having to pay $30 for a physical ounce of silver, and that's even a generic round. If we're talking about American Eagles or Pandas, it's much higher. So why is that? Well, obviously, silver's scarce, low supply, high demand shoots the price up, but there's a lot more to it than that. In the first video, this guy brought up a lot of points that I agreed with, but I also had a lot of other things that I wanted to talk about, and this article hits the nail on the head. This is the article that brought up a lot of the stuff I personally think has more of an effect on these premiums, on, when we're talking about spot price being detached from the physical market. So I'm excited to go into this because this is the meat and potatoes. This is what we're going to have to adjust and adapt to moving forwards. Yes, we could talk about all the other stuff, but when it comes to stacking, this is literally what's going to affect us the most. If spot price hits $50, we're not going to be paying $50 for an ounce of silver. We'll probably be paying $70. If spot price hits $100, nobody's going to be able to buy a physical ounce for $100. We'll be paying $140, maybe even higher. So yes, times are changing. The days of spot price, the days of you buying an ounce of silver, a physical ounce of silver for spot price, is over. That's more from the SLV perspective. Now let's jump into this. The link to this article will be in the description. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you leave a nice comment. It helps the video grow a lot. So the SLV paper silver is being abandoned for physical as Silver Squeeze 2 beckons. Now, this is the good stuff. I'm excited to cover this article. I tried to fit it into the last video, but the last video, it was just such a detailed article, I just couldn't squeeze it in. I highly recommend you go check that video out as well. I'll even post the link to that video in the description as well. So, since its founding in 2006 until February, SLV has been the most popular method for silver investment. Not anymore though, with SLV holdings falling fast as the price of silver rises. It's not just SLV. Demand appears to be focused on physical silver markets as total silver holdings across all paper silver holdings have been falling since March. This is not bearish for silver at all though. See, palladium, for example, paper holdings of which have been in free fall for 6 years, but palladium keeps making new highs. The stresses on the physical silver market are apparent in the persistently high coin premiums and a drain of over 37 million ounces from the COMEX since the February silver squeeze, which we're talking about Wall Street silver, right? Within 3 days, they pushed silver above $30, which is insane, right? Just a Reddit forum, a couple of guys cornered the market and pushed silver up to a high that we haven't seen since 2011 when silver was $50. So, Craig Hemp and Sprout Money is calling for Silver Squeeze 2 on May 1st to coincide with May silver futures deliveries. May 1st is also the anniversary of gold confiscation back in 1933. The Executive Order 6102. If you guys don't know, gold has been confiscated several times throughout history and not just in the United States. They literally steal your gold. Well, they don't steal it. They're not going to kick in your front door and steal your safe, but it's illegal to have your gold, and any gold that you have to turn it in. And so a similar situation actually happened with silver when silver was $50 in 2011. The Hunt brothers cornered the market, owned 77% of the global silver production, and the government banned silver. You couldn't buy it on the COMEX. You could not buy silver. It was illegal to buy silver. And you had to sell it. And you had to sell it to big banks because they needed the silver, just like they needed the gold, because gold is what makes our country the wealthiest in the world. So, moving forwards, we know that silver scarce. The contracts that people try to turn in for physical delivery on the COMEX would be non-existent. There's not enough silver to go around. And you could see where this could lead to. Now, it's a lot deeper than that too as well, though. You're going to want to stick through this video because there's a lot we have to talk about. So I do much more than just articles at the Endgame Investor. Let's look at this. For over 15 years, the iShares Silver Trust SOB has been the quote-unquote silver standard of paper silver investment. It still is the largest component of total paper claims on silver, but since February, it appears to be losing its appeal in favor of physical silver coins. Here's how we know. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out why. One, the silver squeeze is physical silver. APMEX, JM Bullion, Provident Metals, SD Bullion, Modern CoinMart, all of their sites couldn't accept orders. Their sites were crashing. You couldn't buy silver anywhere, right? They weren't even just giving delays, shipping times. They literally had to they couldn't even accept orders because they didn't know if they had enough inventory. U.S. Mint came out with a statement saying there's a silver shortage, and not just the U.S. Mint, Mexican Mint, Perth Mint, all of these big mints are having trouble finding enough silver to make their coins. And not only that, you also have to think about us also getting the silver. So big business for Teslas, for electric vehicles, for solar panels, they need it. And everyone like us is trying to get a slice of the silver pie. So you could see how detrimental this is and how critical it is and how the government could step in, because you know they're going to make the newest, latest iPhone. You know Teslas are still going to be made. So where are they going to get that silver from? If we're the ones that have it, we can set the price because we're the ones in control. They're not in control anymore because we're the ones that have what they need. We want it, they need it. But anyways, that's a whole separate video, kind of. But anyways, so let's keep going into this. So February 1st, 2021 is now known as the silver squeeze, when retail silver investors first banded together through social media to buy silver at the same time. I called it the shot heard round the world fired with a silver bullet. The move to buy the metal actually began over the weekend on January 30th, while paper markets were closed. Bullion coin shops were raided to the point that many of them had to shut down for lack of ability to hedge their inventories. When future markets opened the following Sunday night, which is Monday, the paper markets followed physical demand higher. The SLV saw record silver inflows over 50 million ounces in a single day. The flows were so extreme that the SLV even amended its prospectus at the time to reflect the possibility it may be forced to stop issuing share baskets in the event that it ran out of silver to source. And that was a little hint, a little glimpse into what would have or what did happen in 1980, where they had to step in and say, you can't buy silver on the COMEX right now. We don't have that much silver. You can't buy it. And then that causes a lot of speculation, a lot of fear, uncertainty, doubt, and then people start panic selling because all they can do is sell because they can't buy it, and that shoots the price down. But then in return, the government gets all the silver because people can only sell it. And who are they selling it to? Big business. You can't sell it to people like you and I. So it's a perfect strategy for the government to get what they want. Now, how SLB works is that it tracks the COMEX silver futures price by adding and subtracting the share baskets in exchange for physical silver. If demand for SLB exceeds the spot price, new baskets are issued and the supply of SLB shares increase to keep the price in line with its COMEX benchmark. For that fact, the record number of baskets were issued and silver deposited during the silver squeeze shows record demand for SLB paper silver at the time. So you can see here's the silver squeeze right here. Right here, highest ever been. So there's a lot more that we're going to be digging into today, folks. It's not just kind of, reflecting the past. So since then, though, the SLB demand has completely reversed itself. We know this by comparing the chart above. The above chart, we can see the SLB holdings have tended to move higher with the silver price, but they have never fallen significantly even when silver falls off. As in 2008, 2011, when silver was $9 up to $50 for 9 years, from 2011 to March 2020, SLB holdings had stayed remarkably steady overall, even as the price of silver fell from just under $50 to $10.80, which that was when the government banned silver. 2011, that was Well, 1980 was when the Hunt brothers pushed it up to $50. They banned silver, shot it back down to $10. And this is also similar. 2008, $10, pushed it up to $50. And they didn't ban silver, but a similar situation was at play. And in March last year, demand for the SLB skyrocketed, and SLB holdings went to new records. And remember, March last year, silver was $11. That was when the gold to silver ratio was 125 to 1, the highest it's ever been in the history of 5,000 years, last year in March. So we can see the chart below, right, and the opposite's happening. Silver, since bottomed at the end of March, the metal has risen 9%, and still SLB holdings have continued to fall. That means share baskets are being redeemed out of the ETF in order to keep slacking demand for SLB from pushing the price of SLB shares too far out of line with the spot price of silver. SLB has a vehicle of tracking the price of silver is apparently losing its appeal. Think about that. Think about that. And it's not just the SLB. It's all paper silver holdings as an investment class, with the notable exception of Sprott Physical Silver Trust, the PSLV. So the whole point is, the last video, the guy was saying that that COMEX is going to skyrocket, which is going to allow the physical silver price, physical market, to also skyrocket. I'm looking at this backwards, the opposite, because look what the Hunt brothers did. Look at that situation. Let's look at it. COMEX crashed. The government came in, Silver Rule 7. They made a law on the spot to ban silver. It's called Silver Rule 7. You can Google it, which led to Silver Thursday, which is literally the holiday, or the term Silver Thursday, when the price crashed and fell from $50 back down to $14. That was directly from the Hunt brothers, because they owned 77% of the global silver production. But since the COMEX crashed, because everyone could only sell it, all you could do is sell it on the COMEX. But silver was still up. We're talking about $50 silver. So I don't think the COMEX has to rise for silver to skyrocket, because physical silver and digital silver are detached from each other. Let's look at something real quick. I'll come back to this. Right now, spot price is $23.64. But if you want to buy a generic round, you're paying $29.20. And that's a generic round. You don't even want to know what an American Eagle is. So people would say, what's silver spot price right now? It's $23. $23 is silver spot price. So you would think, okay, if I want to buy an ounce of silver from the coin shopper on JM Bullion, I can, $23. That's what I'm paying. But no, whatever spot price is irrelevant, because even if spot price says $50, we will not be paying $50 for an ounce of silver. When spot price hits $100, we will not be paying $100 for an ounce of silver, because silver is scarce. So spot price nowadays means nothing. It means nothing. And if you think about it, it shouldn't, because silver's real value is the metal inside of it, not the price tag attached to it. No matter who says that 1 ounce coin is worth what is irrelevant, because the value of that coin is the metal inside of it, not the spot price, not the price tag attached to it. And now we're starting to see that in effect. So when we talk about $100 silver, when we talk about $500 silver, we're not saying that spot price is going to be $100. We're not saying that spot price is going to be $500. We're talking about, to buy a physical ounce of silver will cost that much. It doesn't mean spot price will have to reach that height, but what we're paying for an ounce of silver could be that price, right? You have to look at it from a different perspective, because times are changing. All we have to learn how to do is adjust and adapt accordingly. So let's keep moving on. So let's look at this. The silver squeeze changed everything, right? And it really did. Everyone says that the silver squeeze was a failure. Everyone says the silver squeeze was a failure. I honestly think the opposite. If let's look at Wall Street Silver. Look how many they have 127,000 members, and they only started a couple months ago. Only a couple months ago, and there's 127,000 members. Think about that. And when they did that raid that put silver to $30, they only had maybe 30,000 members back then. So imagine in a couple of years, when they have hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of members all doing silver squeezes at the same time, flooding the markets, buying the markets. If they shut down JM Bullion's site, the site crashed with only 30,000 members. Imagine if they have 300,000 members, what that could do. Think about it. Think about it. Times are changing, and we have to learn how to adjust and adapt with them. Because if not, then we're just being ignorant, closed-minded, and that's setting ourselves up for failure. So let's keep moving on. Is this bearish for metals? If interest in paper and gold silver vehicles is falling, is this bearish for the price of both metals? The short answer is no. And this next chart below proves it. So this is going to be interesting. So the blue line is in millions of ounces, right? And then the gray line is the price. So you can see it's actually opposite. Now, when we're looking at, and this is from 2012 to 2021, so we're talking about, right when silver was $50, but this is a palladium, sorry. This is palladium. I wish they showed silver, but I guess let's look at this one. So here's Silver American Eagle premium order spot, and this is important to pay attention to because the premiums for American Eagles have gone through the roof, right? Gone through the roof. So you could see in 2019 premiums, and this is the percentage of premiums. So, 14%, 12% premium for an American Eagle, right? Not a big deal. But then look, now we got up to 40% premiums, and that's right where, the virus, the situation happened. And now premiums are coming back down, but then the silver squeeze happened, and now premiums are coming back up. Right? It's insane that we were nearly paying 50% premiums. I mean, that actually happened back in 1980. The premiums were insane. Even though silver was $9, you couldn't buy silver less than 16 or something. And if you do the math, that is like an 80, I think there was 85% premiums during that time. So I couldn't see how it wouldn't be as similar, right? And I can only see this getting worse. And the silver squeeze definitely crossed the market, cornered it, less supply. So you can literally see that when silver is scarce, premiums rise. When silver is scarce, premiums rise, right? This is when everyone was buying silver. Their friends, their dog, their cat, the neighbor buy silver. Crashes, everything is everywhere. People need it for the situation, COV, and look at the premiums. Things settled down, but we're still paying heavy premiums. And do you think we'll ever be able to buy an American Eagle with only a 14% premium anymore? I think that day and age is over. I think the best way to go would be rounds, generic rounds, and 10-ounce bars. Actually would be the best, the generic 10-ounce bars, because not only are you getting the generic, the generic, I guess, premium, which is very low, close to spot price, but also 10 ounces, so you're buying in bulk. So you're getting generic and buying in bulk, so you're getting the biggest bang for your buck with the biggest bang for your buck. That's the best way to go right now, in my opinion. So, meanwhile, at COMEX, May silver deliveries approach, and imagine if all of these people did try to turn in their contracts for physical delivery. I already made a video a couple weeks ago talking about how someone got denied physical delivery for their contract, and I could see this happening more and more as we move on. So we are seeing the effect of rising demand for physical on the COMEX vaults, which have also seen a physical silver drain since right when silver squeeze began, about 37 million ounces. So the COMEX, the total COMEX silver stockpile is 363 million ounces. But you can see in February it was around 400 million. They can't. I mean, that's not enough, and that's just from the COMEX alone. And that's just also, remember, from just one. I mean, we're looking at the SOB, which is the biggest. Most of this is from the SOB. Most of this, or some of this, will start to get turned in for physical delivery. You could see it on Wall Street Silver. A lot of people do it. The Hunt brothers did it to an extreme level. That's how they owned 77% of the global silver products, or the global silver supply, is because all those contracts they turned into physical delivery. So anyways, let's look at this. May silver futures contract goes to deliver on April 29th. Anyone still short on the contract at the time risks being forced to deliver 5,000 ounces of silver per contract. There are 41,000 contracts still open with 3 trading days left. It is likely that all or nearly all of the contracts still open by close of trading on April 29th will stand for delivery. The COMEX vaults have enough registered silver to satisfy 23,000 contracts as of the latest available data. There's also plenty of eligible silver that is not currently registered for sale but can be potentially if the number of contracts that stand for delivery exceeds what is available on the COMEX registry. And what would happen? I mean, this actually happened back in July of 2020 when a new silver delivery record of 17,000 contracts was hit. Translates to 86 million ounces of silver, about as much registered silver as there was available at the time. And in the last video, we talked about this, and what they would do is it would be a terrible situation. It would expose a lot, and they would have to be redeemed monetarily, right, with dollars. But what would that show? It's not even really about that. It's more exposing. And here's the executive order that I talked about. The Executive Order 6106, and this was from FDR. This was from FDR himself, which also changed the gold to silver ratio from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1. But this is what he posted in the newspaper, telling everyone that you have to turn your gold in. We're confiscating all your gold, and you can get a heavy fine. You could even get sent to prison. Check this out. Imagine reading the newspaper, and this is what comes up if you're a silver or gold stacker. This would be so scary. Under the executive order of the president, all persons are required to deliver on or before May 1st all gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates now owned by them to a Federal Reserve Bank branch or agency, any member of the Federal Reserve System, right? They literally said, if you own gold, if you stack gold, just like us, imagine a newspaper. If you stack silver, turn it in, or you can get arrested or fined. That is insane to think about. It's insane to think about. Penalties for violation of this executive order: $10,000 fine or 10 years imprisonment, or both. Imagine that. If you don't want to give up your gold, or if you try to hide it and they catch you, you could spend 10 years in prison. That is insane. I mean, that is insane. And you can see FDR, Franklin Roosevelt, FDR is the one that put this in place. And FDR also changed the gold to silver ratio from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1. He single-handedly devalued the price of silver. Because before that, the gold to silver ratio was 8 to 1, maybe 16 to 1. Because that's around what it came out of the ground. But FDR single-handedly devalued silver, and that's why silver to gold isn't 8 to 1 anymore, which it should be as it comes out of the ground at that ratio. But after that, no. Silver is basically just a commodity that, has just uses for, real world applications that are actually much more essential than gold, which is the funny part. But at the end of the day, gold is king. Gold is money to them. So the end game investor, which this is us. This is dedicated to protecting real wealth and helping subscribers profit during the ongoing global paper money collapse. Coming from an Australian school during ongoing global paper collapse. Coming from an Australian school perspective on economics, we discuss ideas like this one and other more exotic ones using a variety of vehicles that are low risk, high reward. So if you suspect something is seriously wrong in the monetary sphere and that the US dollar is existential in danger and as a monetary medium, and then they're going to tell you to do their free week trial, blah, blah, blah. But the whole point is that, yes, silver price is becoming detached, and it's not just as black and white as people see it. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of context. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. But if you've watched my last video and this video, and back to back, even if this is the first video you've seen, go watch the last one. Or if you saw the last one and now you're watching this one, I think you have a very well-rounded picture of why I say that spot price is irrelevant. Because whatever spot price is nowadays does not mean that's what the price of silver we're going to pay for is. And it's going to be tricky for local coin shops because local coin shops do that. If I went into my local coin shop tomorrow, he's gonna if I was going to turn some silver in, he's going to offer me a couple dollars over spot. If I was going to buy some silver, he's going to offer a couple dollars over spot. Which is crazy because nowadays that's different. So I'm curious what they're going to do about that situation, right? Are they going to move with the APMEX, with the JM Bullion, with the Provident Metals way because scarcity? Or are they going to just play it as they always have? And that could be a beautiful situation for us because that could be a chance for us to still buy Eagles a couple dollars over spot. What do you think? I mean, I would love for you all to participate in these videos. Let me know what your 2 cents is. Let me know what you think about this stuff. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that there could be another situation like Silver Rule 7 where they ban silver because they need silver because there's not enough silver to make the newest iPhone, to make all these solar panels for the world to go green? I mean, if there's already a silver shortage, if the U.S. Mint is coming out saying there's a silver shortage and they're having a hard time finding silver to make the coins, if the U.S. former Mint director is saying it, if the Silver Institute's literally putting out numbers showing it, David Morgan talking about it, Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars talking about it. I made a video covering the below ground supply of silver versus the above ground supply of silver versus global production, showing that we will run out of silver by 2030, which was a great video. I highly recommend you check that out as well. I've been making some really good videos lately. If you only periodically check out my channel, I definitely recommend you watch it because every video I've been making recently is just, it's critical to watch. I'm not just going to make some random video of, No, I'm trying to get straight to the point. That's why you should be subscribed. Also, if you want a chance to win some silver, it doesn't make sense if you're not subscribing to my channel if you're someone who loves silver, that wants to stay updated, or that likes to win or wants an opportunity to win silver. It's a no-brainer, right? Every single day, 2-3 videos a day, every day, I got y'all. It's what I do. It's what I love to do, and hopefully you also enjoy my videos. If you stuck around this long in the video, I praise you. Kudos. I can tell you're a very good stacker because you didn't click off the video thinking you know everything. You didn't click off the video thinking that you didn't need to know anymore. You wanted to know every single bit of information. That shows a lot about your character, and I can guarantee that your stacking strategy, your personality, the way you just think, and your open-mindedness is going to take you a lot farther than the guy that clicked off this video in 3 minutes thinking that he knows it all or that he didn't need to know anymore. See what I'm saying? So if you're still watching this video, thank you. I praise you. Give yourself a pat on the back because that's serious. Stuff is serious. Information is so important, especially when we're talking about stuff like this. So seriously, I hope that makes yourself feel good that you have stuck around this long and paid attention. that really does mean a lot more than you think. Not just for me, I mean for your own good. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, click subscribe, click the bell so you get notified every time I post, but also go in the description, click the entry video, and go enter. May the luckiest stacker win. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.